She blocked me on Instagram, then I found her secret account, and what I saw made my hands start shaking. I caught her smiling at her phone while she was cleaning the mirror. That damn smile. It wasn't for me. She was in a tank top, barefoot, swaying a little with the music playing from her phone speaker. It was a Tuesday. I remember that because I'd just come back from a brutal shift and was running on fumes. But she looked like she hadn't worked a minute, just gliding through the day like nothing touched her. I dropped my keys on the counter and asked, "What's so funny?" She jumped a little. Not enough to make a scene. Just that tiny micro shift in her face that made me feel like an intruder in my own house. She said, "Oh, nothing. Just a dumb meme," and locked her phone so quick I heard the button click. I walked past her toward the fridge. "You missed a spot," I said, pointing at a big smear on the glass she'd just wiped. She didn't laugh. That was the first time I felt it. That off feeling. We'd been together 8 years. Married for 5. I thought we were solid. She was the kind of woman who always texted back, never hit her phone, never acted sketchy. Until recently. Lately, she'd been smiling at her phone way too much. And not smiling at me. It started with Instagram. I posted a picture of us at her sister's birthday dinner. She didn't like it. Not just in the app, I mean her. She looked at it and went, "Ew, no, my face looks weird," and asked me to take it down. I joked, "You look hot. What's the problem?" She didn't laugh, just got quiet. So I took it down. Whatever. But then I noticed something weird. A few days later, I checked her page, not stalking, just browsing. And she hadn't liked any of my last 5 posts. Not even the one of our dog in the little rain jacket she loved. That's when I checked if she still followed me. She didn't. I stared at the screen, blinking like an idiot. She had unfollowed me. I searched her handle, gone. I asked myself, did she delete it? So I logged out and searched for my burner account. The one I used for football memes and dumb crap. And guess what? Her account popped up. Still there. Still posting. But I was blocked. I sat on the edge of the bed that night, watching her sleep, breathing soft, one arm curled under the pillow like nothing in the world could touch her. She had blocked me. Not unfollowed. Not muted. Blocked. I kept asking myself why. What did she not want me to see? The next day, I asked her flat out. Kept it casual. "You still on Instagram?" She didn't even flinch. "Not really. Just scroll when I'm bored." That was it. No mention of the account. No mention of blocking me. I smiled. Nodded. Kissed her on the forehead. Just checking. But inside, I was boiling. Over the next week, I started watching her closer. Her phone was always face down. She took it into the bathroom. She changed her lock screen. One night, while she was brushing her teeth, I picked up her phone and pressed the power button. Her wallpaper used to be us on the beach. Now it was just a blurry photo of a city skyline. When she came out and saw me holding her phone, her face changed for a second. Not angry, not scared. Just, guarded. Like I'd caught her mid-lie. She said, "Babe, don't mess with my settings." I handed it back and said, "Just looking for the time." She didn't smile. Just walked past me and climbed into bed. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the account. What was she posting that I wasn't allowed to see? So I went digging. Used my burner to search her followers. And that's when I found the second account. It had a different name. A private profile. Barely any followers. But the profile pic was unmistakably her, a mirror selfie in our guest bathroom, the one with the ivy wallpaper. The username was a play on her middle name. Something she hadn't used in years. But the thing that hit me hardest? The bio. It said, "Healing. No drama. Just vibes." What the hell was she healing from? I stared at that line for a long time. And I swear, in that moment, the air felt heavier. She was building a version of herself without me. And she didn't think I'd notice. The next morning, I told her I'd be working late. I wasn't. I left work at 2 p.m., parked around the corner from our house, and sat in my truck watching her Instagram from my burner. That second account, she had posted again. It was a photo of her legs by the pool. Caption said, "Sunlight, everything fake." I sat there staring at it like a moron. We didn't even have a pool. And then I realized, that wasn't taken today. That was an old picture. From a trip we took last summer. I remembered the towel. I remembered the hotel logo in the corner. She was recycling memories. Curating a vibe. And the comments? They made my skin crawl. Some guy with a private profile said, "Wish I was there RN." She replied, "You and me both." My stomach dropped. I zoomed in on the profile pic. It was a gym selfie. Shaved head. Big arms. No name, just initials. I checked her followers on that account. She followed him. He followed her. He wasn't on her main page. Just the secret one. I scrolled deeper. His comments were on every post. Always just flirty enough to be deniable. Always just far enough under the radar to make me feel insane. But then I found one where he'd said, "Can't stop thinking about last weekend." And she replied with a single emoji. The damn shush face. Like they had a secret. Like they were laughing at me. I don't know how long I sat there. My hands were shaking. I was gripping the steering wheel so hard it left red marks. I didn't cry. I didn't even scream. I just sat there, completely still, letting it hit me in waves. She was doing this in my house. Sleeping in my bed. Using my Wi-Fi to run around behind my back and pretend she was healing. Healing from what? Me. I'd been nothing but good to her. Took care of her when her mom passed. Worked overtime when she lost her job. Paid for her damn therapy even when I was drowning in bills. And now she was curating some little fantasy life online where I didn't exist. I turned the ignition. Drove around the block 3 times before I could calm down. When I walked in the door, she was in the kitchen, phone in one hand, a bowl of cereal in the other. "Hey babe," she said, without looking up. "Thought you were working late." "Got off early," I replied. My voice sounded fake even to me. She smiled. "Nice. You want some cereal?" I said no. I wanted to throw the bowl across the room. That night, I lay awake next to her, listening to the buzz of notifications on her phone. Every time the screen lit up, my heart started hammering. Was it him? I turned on my side, facing the wall, trying to breathe through it. And then her phone buzzed again. And this time, she laughed. That soft, guilty laugh people make when they know they're doing something wrong. I said, "Who you texting?" She said, "Nobody. Just a reel." I didn't say anything. She added, "You okay?" "Just tired," I said. "Want me to scratch your back?" That almost broke me. She always offered when she felt guilty. But I said no. Told her I was fine. Then I waited until she fell asleep. Reached over, picked up her phone, and slid it under the blanket. Face ID didn't work while she slept. But she hadn't changed the password. She always used the same one. I opened the secret Instagram. Went straight to her DMs, top of the list. That same guy. The gym one. Their convo was short, but it said enough. She had sent a picture. Nothing explicit, but close. Just her in a tank top, wet hair, that same damn smirk she gave me when she lied. And his reply. "Can't wait to see you again. You free Sunday?" And her answer, time-stamped 2 hours earlier, "Depends if he's working." I dropped the phone. Sat up in the dark, chest heaving. She was planning around me. Around my work schedule. I looked at her. She was still asleep, mouth slightly open, breathing even. She had no idea I knew. I spent the next 2 days pretending everything was normal. Smiled when she kissed me. Brought her coffee in bed. Even posted a picture of us at brunch. She smiled in it, too. Leaned her head on my shoulder like nothing was wrong. Like she wasn't sneaking around with some discount MMA extra. That afternoon, I drove to my brother's place and told him everything. He sat on the porch with me, chain-smoking, not saying a word for a full minute. Then he asked, "You sure?" I handed him the phone. Showed him the messages. He nodded slowly. "That's cold, man. Real cold." I asked him what to do. He said, "Depends. You want to catch her in the act, or nuke it now?" I said, "I want to watch it burn." Sunday morning, I kissed her goodbye like nothing was wrong. Told her I had to cover a double shift. She stretched, fake yawned, and said, "Poor baby. Don't work too hard." I smiled and said, "I'll text you when I get a break." She said, "Okay," already scrolling through her phone. I walked out, drove 1 street over, parked behind an old convenience store, and waited. At exactly 12:14 p.m., she left the house wearing the same tank top she'd sent him in that photo. Hair curled. Lip gloss. She didn't dress like that for me anymore. I followed her from 2 cars back. Heart thumping. Hands on the wheel like they were glued there. She pulled into a Starbucks parking lot. I stayed parked across the street and watched. And then he showed up. Gym guy. Shaved head. Big chest. Loud laugh I could hear even through my windshield when she got out of the car and hugged him. Not a side hug either. The kind with both arms. The kind she used to give me when she still liked me. They sat outside. 2 drinks. Her legs crossed toward him. He leaned in while she talked. At one point, she touched his wrist. And I swear to God, I saw him wink. I couldn't breathe. My throat was closing up and my teeth were clenched so hard my jaw started to ache. I didn't storm out. I didn't yell. I just stared. Watched her laugh like a teenager. Toss her hair. Touch her lips. She didn't even look like the woman I married. She looked free. Like being around him gave her permission to exist without guilt. That wrecked me more than anything. She sat there for an hour and 17 minutes. I counted. When they left, they didn't kiss. No physical contact. But she stood by her car a full minute after unlocking it, head tilted, lips curled, and watched him drive away before getting in. That smile stayed on her face until she turned out of the lot. And then it was gone. She came home smelling like vanilla and iced coffee. Dropped her keys, kicked off her shoes, and came into the kitchen where I was, just getting home. She kissed my cheek and said, "You're back early." "Boss let me cut out around 4, I said. "Dead day." She grinned. "Lucky you." I asked her, "Do anything fun?" She didn't flinch. Didn't blink. "Just errands." Got a drink and read outside for a bit. I looked her right in the eye. "Oh yeah? Where at?" She said, "Panera." "Panera. Not Starbucks." I nodded. "Nice. Get anything good?" She said, "Iced green tea." She didn't even remember what she ordered. I almost laughed. That night, I started planning. Not rage. Not revenge. Just strategy. I screenshotted everything. Every message. Every comment. Even her bio. Compiled it all into a Drive folder and backed it up twice. I even printed the DMs and hid the stack under my sock drawer. Then I made a fake email. Used a variation of her username and DM'd him from a new burner account. Said, "She told me you hooked up. I want to know what I'm dealing with." Didn't expect a reply. Didn't need one. But the next day, he answered, "Look, I didn't know she was still with anybody. She said you two were separated." My hands went cold. I asked, "You guys slept together?" He didn't deny it. Didn't even hesitate. "Yeah. Once." Didn't realize she was lying. I stared at that message until my eyes went dry. My chest felt like it caved in on itself. She'd slept with him. It wasn't just flirting. It wasn't just Instagram. She looked me in the face every day and said, "I love you," while she was screwing someone else behind my back. And the part that broke me wasn't the betrayal. It was that she made him think I was the liar. That I was the ex. The afterthought. I wasn't even a person to her anymore. I was a speed bump on the way to her next chapter. That night, I set the trap. I told her I was heading out of town next weekend for a job training. 3 days. Out of state. Gone Friday through Sunday. She said, lame, but didn't push it. Probably started planning her little weekend getaway the second I walked out. Meanwhile, I rented a cheap motel 15 minutes from our house. Booked it under a fake name. Then I installed cameras. One in the living room. One above the garage. One hidden in a bookshelf facing the hallway to our bedroom. I knew it was crazy. I knew if anyone found out, I'd look insane. But I needed to see it for myself. Needed to hear it. Watch it. Feel it break in real time. Because I wasn't just gonna walk out. I was gonna make sure she watched everything she built burn to the ground, with her front row, holding the match. Friday morning, I packed a bag, kissed her like always, and told her I'd text when I landed. She smiled and said, "Be safe. Love you." I said it back, pulled out of the driveway, drove straight to the motel. Sat in that cheap, stale room with my laptop open and 3 camera feeds playing on loop. Nothing happened Friday. She went to work, came home, ordered takeout, watched some reality show. I almost doubted it. Thought maybe she got cold feet. Maybe gym guy wised up. But Saturday proved everything. At 3:22 p.m., the camera in the hallway lit up. She walked in with him. He had his hand on the small of her back. She was laughing, keys swinging from her finger, the way she used to do with me when we'd come back from a date. He dropped onto the couch like he owned it. She kicked off her shoes, turned on the speaker, and poured 2 glasses of wine. He said something. She leaned in, shoved his shoulder playfully, then slid onto his lap. I watched her kiss him in the living room we built together. Watched her press her body into his like nothing in the world could touch them. No guilt. No hesitation. I closed the laptop. I'd seen enough. The next morning, I went home. She was in the kitchen making coffee like she hadn't just played house with another man less than 12 hours earlier. I kissed her cheek and said, "Miss me?" She giggled. Of course. We spent that Sunday like nothing had changed. Went grocery shopping. Watched TV. She curled into my chest like it was still safe there. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell her everything. But I waited. Because I had one last card to play. Monday night, I invited her parents over for dinner. She was surprised, said it was random, but didn't argue. They showed up around 6. I grilled in the backyard. She poured wine. Her dad cracked a joke. She laughed too hard. I waited until we sat down, plates full, glasses topped off, music low. Then I pulled out the laptop, set it on the table, pressed play. The living room footage rolled silently at first. Just her and Jim Guy walking in, laughing, touching. Her mom dropped her fork. Her dad went dead still. She blinked once. Twice. Then turned to me like she didn't understand what she was seeing. "What is this?" she asked, voice shaking. I said, "You tell me." She stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. "Are you kidding me right now?" she snapped. "You spy on me?" I looked at her mom. "I thought you said she was different." Her mom's face was pale, lips pressed tight. Her dad just stared at the screen, jaw clenched. My wife turned back to me, furious. "This is insane. You invaded my privacy." I said, "You cheated in my house." Her voice cracked. "We were separated. We were having dinner 4 hours later." I pointed at the footage. "That doesn't look separated." She looked at her parents like they were supposed to save her. But they didn't. Her mom just said, quietly, "Is this true?" She didn't answer. After they left, she turned on me. "You ruined everything," she screamed. "You had to make a show out of it." I said, "No. You did. I just rolled the credits." She broke then. Collapsed onto the couch, sobbing, begging me not to tell anyone else. I told her I already had. My brother knew. My friends knew. Hell, the guy she screwed knew I knew. "You were never gonna stop," I told her. "You were just waiting for me to give up." She whispered, "I didn't mean for it to happen." I laughed in her face. "You planned around my work schedule. Don't stand there and say it just happened." I moved out 2 days later. Took only what was mine. The dog came with me. She didn't argue. I filed for divorce within a week. No hesitation. No second chances. She texted me once, some long paragraph about how she was working on herself and hoping for peace. I didn't reply. She can heal all she wants. Just not on my time. Not with my name. And not in the house I built with love, while she filled it with lies. It's been 9 months. I live in a different zip code now. Different job. Different furniture. Same dog. The first 3 months were brutal. Not even gonna pretend. You don't just walk out of 8 years and feel nothing. I'd wake up forgetting I was alone. Reach across the bed and grab empty air. The silence was louder than any fight we ever had. People took sides. Of course they did. Her sister texted me, said she was shocked, but didn't want to get in the middle. Her mom apologized, said she'd had her doubts for a while. Her dad never spoke to me again. I think he blamed me for embarrassing the family. Whatever. My brother, he's the reason I'm still upright. Came over every weekend. Sat with me. Said nothing unless I asked. That was the best part, the nothing. No lectures. No, you should have seen it coming. Just space to breathe. She moved out 2 weeks after I did. Sold the house. Claimed she needed a fresh start. Translation, she couldn't live with the ghosts. Couldn't look at those walls without remembering how she got caught. Last I heard, she tried dating Jim Guy for a while. Didn't last. Guess he didn't like being with the real version of her, the one without filters, captions, or curated lies. Or maybe she realized he wasn't a future. Just a detour on her way to nowhere. Funny thing is, I don't even hate her now. Hate takes energy. And she already drained me dry. I think what stayed with me the most wasn't the betrayal. It was the casualness of it. She blocked me on Instagram like it was nothing. Lied to my face like it was routine. Built an entire online world without me, one where she was healing, glowing, rising. While I was still here. Paying bills. Holding her when she cried. Believing we were a team. The lie didn't kill me. What killed me was how easy it was for her. How she could kiss me in the morning and text him by lunch. How she could sit across from me at dinner while replaying someone else's voice in her head. That kind of distance isn't just cheating. It's erasure. These days, I sleep better. Not great, but better. I adopted a routine. Morning jog. Black coffee. Sunday grocery runs. Quiet rituals to prove I still exist outside of what she broke. I started therapy. Took a while to admit I needed it. Not for the pain, for the numbness. The flat line inside me I couldn't fix on my own. The therapist asked what I wanted from all this. I said, to feel real again. That's happening, slowly. I smile now without faking it. Talk to women without comparing their laugh to hers. I even went on a date last month. Just drinks. Just small talk. But I didn't flinch when she mentioned Instagram. Didn't check her phone screen when she got up to use the restroom. That felt like progress. Sometimes I still get those dreams. I walk into the house and hear her laughing from the other room. I follow the sound. She's there, smiling, holding out her hand like none of it ever happened. Then I wake up. And I'm alone. And that's okay. Because now I know, alone doesn't mean empty. It just means honest. And I'll take honest over fake every damn time.